If you're having problems with the Abyss, it's probably to do with your artifacts, and having artifacts like these can definitely make the Abyss way easier. By the end of the video, you'll know how to get artifacts like these and the artifact sets you need for your characters, and some explanation about what artifacts actually are. So first, let's begin with what artifacts are and what artifact sets are. So artifacts themselves are a main component to how strong your character is. You have your weapons and you have the character itself, then you have the talents, and then you have artifacts. They contribute the most to make your character strong. Now, what are artifact sets? So for each character you can pick 5 artifacts. Each of them are different. On the right you can see set bonus. These are basically like for each of these 5 types of artifacts there's a set. So for example, you have the Wanderer's Rope, okay? And this is the flower for it, this is the feather for it, this is the sands. You know, you have the same type of artifact set for each artifact type. So if you have 2 of the same artifact sets on your character, for example, I have the Shiminawa set. From the 5 types, I have 2 of them from the same set. So the artifact set bonuses are actually pretty helpful, and so it depends on which character you're choosing and what the character needs are. Now let's move on to the artifacts themselves. So these are main stats and these are substats. Substats are changeable for all of these artifact types, but the main stat is fixed for flowers and feathers. For feathers it can only be attack, and for flowers it can only be HP. So for your sands, it can be HP percent, attack percent, energy recharge, elemental mastery, stuff like that. And for this, the goblet, it can be type bonuses plus whatever this was. So elemental mastery, attack percent, and stuff like that. And for the circlet, you can have crit damage, crit rate, and attack percent, and stuff like that. Now let me explain to you guys what substats are. For 5-star artifacts, you can get them with 3 substats or even 4 substats. Now when you level this up, meaning you enhance it, every 4 rolls, every 4 levels, there'll be 1 rolling, means one of your substats will be upgraded. So let's move on to the section where I tell you guys how to get good artifacts. There's a few things to keep in mind when you're farming artifacts. You know, there's, as I told you guys, that for substats, there's some substats that you need for your builds and some you don't. So for example, for DPS you need crit damage and crit rate. So those are the substats that I want on an artifact. So the rule to go by is, if it's a flower and if it's a feather, have the substats that you want on your artifact. So if I want crit damage and crit rate, and over here I just have any recharge, and I might get crit damage on it, who knows, but then I won't have crit rate. So this is a useless artifact. Now let's see this again. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, this one here though, I should roll on this because this has crit damage and it has a chance of getting crit rate. And also there's a second rule to go by, is from your 5 rolls, have at least 3 rolls fall into the substats that you want. So that would be something like having 3 rolls into crit damage, or maybe even 2 into crit rate and 1 into crit damage. That's also fine. But it also depends on if you're trying to upgrade your artifacts. Then from 3 you can go to 4 out of 5. That's harder, but it's still something you can go for. So let's see if I get crit rate on this. So unfortunately I just got defense percentage, so I'm gonna leave this artifact. I guess I don't have any flowers in the Shiminawa set, so let me go to my feathers. And this one here again, I want crit rate and crit damage. It's better to use the ones that messed up. It's easier to upgrade artifacts like this from pre-built artifacts. It costs way less. Again, I'm building a DPS character, so I need attack percent. Because it's not a Hu Tao. I'm not building a Hu Tao, I'm building, for example, let's say Yaemiko maybe. So I need attack percent here. Okay, if this was Hu Tao, if this was for Hu Tao, this would be amazing. Because it has HP, it has crit rate, it has crit damage. And it's an HP percent sans, because Hu Tao needs HP percent sans. But again, this is not on the set. You know, this is Shiminawa's and not Crimson Witch of Flames. Though she can use this, but Crimson Witch of Flames is better for her. So you can see how complex artifacts can be, like, you know. Now the good thing about artifacts though is that as you know, you need 4 pieces for the buff, but you can put 5 pieces on your character. So the 5th one can be an off piece. So maybe if I'm lucky and I got pyro damage bonus on set for the Scarlet Witch of Flames, I can put this on her. This can be good because it's attack person main stat and it's crit damage substat, and I can get crit rate. This is a sans, so we don't need to get crit rate, but it's of course better to get crit rate. Let's see what I got. Okay, I got defense. So my first roll was not on the subset that I want. So I have 4 rolls left now. By my second roll, if my next roll is not on crit damage, I have to skip this artifact. And it wasn't on the substat that I want, so I'll skip this. So you got an idea of what to do for sans. And so let's move on to the goblet. This, on the other hand, is a horrible type of artifact. Mostly for the types, because there are like 16 or 12 main stats you can get. Plus, you need to take care of the substats, so it's almost impossible to get a good good artifact for this. Though I was lucky enough to get that. Maybe with my method you can get them easier, but it's mostly getting the artifact first. That's the hard part. So for example, I'm building Yamiko, so I would need an electro damage bonus main stat. I know I don't have an electro damage bonus, so this is where the off piece comes. Okay, so it's better to use the off piece as your goblet because it can be from different artifact sets, and that might be electro damage bonus. So over here I have electro damage bonus. Let me see if I have any more. This is not a good one, this is not a good one, and again this is also not a good one. Unfortunately, they're hard to get. So for this one, what I'd suggest you to do is, if it's crit damage or crit rate on one of your stats, then just roll on it. Okay, just roll on it level 20. You can't get this good, it's really hard to get them good. I was lucky enough to get this though. But anyways, if you get crit rate or crit damage on your substat on a goblet, just go level 20. Even if it does not land on your crit rate or crit damage, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. And if you do not have crit damage or crit rate on this, just level it up to level 16 and leave it there and wait for another artifact to have crit rate or crit damage, and you can use that. So for circlets, it's again a main DPS. I prefer crit damage over crit rate. Even if I need crit rate, I'll just go for crit damage. But it's better if you go for a good ratio of 2 to 1 crit damage to crit rate. So if I needed crit rate, I would go for a crit rate main stat, and if it was crit damage, I'd go with the crit damage main stat. When you have a crit damage main stat, look for a crit rates a substat, and then level that up. Now circlets can be a bit hard to farm, so it's fine if you make some exceptions for this. Like for this one, I made an exception because it's so hard to find some of these artifacts. I just leveled it up to level 20 and got that crit rate as 7.4, and I'm just using it because it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. So have the best of the best artifacts for your flowers and your feathers. But for the other 3, you need to have at least decent artifacts. That should explain every single thing about artifacts. If you still have any more questions, you can ask me down in the comment section. But yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.